How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. Today we're doing another video, a new video in the short video series around the idea of the 101 New Distillers Guide to Distilling, and today we're talking safety. So I've got 6 rules to help you stay super safe when you're distilling, and honestly guys, you want to make sure you nail the stuff before you get stuck in. So let's get going. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be talking about that methanol stuff at the end. Alright team, so before we can do anything in this hobby, we have to build something or buy something. We are going to get our hands on a still. And the first rule is around using the proper materials to do so. So the long and short of it basically is, guys, there's only 5 materials that you want coming in contact with your high ABV alcohol, whether it be a liquid or a vapor, and those things are copper, stainless steel, glass, PTFE, and wood. If it's not one of those things, honestly team, it's just not worth messing with. There are debates and ongoing discussions around them, but at the end of the day, those things are proven to be about as safe as they can get. It's not worth messing with the other stuff, team, to save, you know, a couple of bucks or make things a little bit easier. Just go with the stuff that's tried and true. It's worth it. The next point is that high ABV alcohol is a poison. I know we don't want to hear it. I know that we don't want to think about the fact that we're ingesting a poison every time we have a wee dram of our favorite scotch. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is. The higher the ABV, the more concentrated it is, the more true it is. And in this hobby, you are going to be dealing eventually with some pretty high ABV stuff. So you need to make sure that you're labeling products correctly, that you're not accidentally, pouring yourself a drink from that bottle that you thought was 40%, but it's actually, 94% alcohol. And you definitely want to be stirring it securely so kids, pets, your neighbor, your annoying aunt can't break into it and drink the wrong thing. My suggestion is basically, if you don't have to store it at super high ABV, don't. And if you do, make sure that it's somewhere where other people can't get their hands on it that don't know what they're doing. Now, this leads directly to the next point. As well as being a poison, this stuff is actually ridiculously flammable. Ridiculously flammable, and it will burn with an invisible flame. I'm sure you can see the problems with that. So, here's the thing, guys. Once again, if it's high ABV, be really careful with it. You need to treat it with respect. If you spill it, clean it up. If you spill it, clean it up. Make sure you're storing it in containers that are suitable for the job, and be super wary of any time where you've got high ABV vapor kicking around as well, because that can get to the point where it's rather explosive. So it's really important, team, no leaks in your stilling apparatus. If there is, fix it ASAP or shut the run down. Number 2 is no closed systems when you're distilling, and if you're going to be building a rig that has a potential for a closed system, you know what, stay away from it until you got some experience behind you. Built up pressure plus a ridiculously flammable gas or liquid, not a great combo, especially if you're using gas to heat with, guys. I'm sure you can see why, which is probably another point. It's probably honestly worth thinking about going electric from the safety point of view as well, but that's up to you. There are ways of using gas safely too. So the next point is true of most hobbies. It's just that in most hobbies, it's just that breaking this rule in other hobbies doesn't necessarily lead to problems. It doesn't work out quite so well. But what I'm getting at here, guys, is the idea that you really want to learn the rules. Turns out there is a whole lot of really smart, really ingenious, really creative people that have led the way up to this point for us in this hobby, and it would be very smart to follow their lead, follow their suggestions, follow their build plans, all that sort of thing, until you have aced it yourself and you know what you're doing as well. I know that it's tempting, especially for people that just like geeking out on things, to go in and try and set your own stuff up, and I won't completely discourage it. Just know that there are very good reasons for why people do things the way they do now. And if they're getting a little bit short with you and, basically just saying, just do it the way we're telling you, is not because they're pricks. They really do want to help you, and they just want to make sure you're safe. So nail that stuff, get set up, get started in the hobby, and then once you've really got an understanding of everything else, get stuck in and start being creative as well. The rest of us will love you for it. We would love to hear what you're doing at that point in time. I do know about this, guys. I was one of those people when I first started. I wanted to reinvent the wheel, and it didn't work out. It wasn't worth it in the end. The last thing I want to talk about, guys, is the idea of methanol. It comes up all the time with new distillers. It is one of the things that people push back on straight away. I don't want to go blind. I don't want to die. I'm not drinking that guy's moonshine because it will kill me. So on and so forth. It adds to the stigma. It adds to the downside of the hobby. It adds to... It's just not a good thing. So here's the thing with methanol and distilling, team. Distilling cannot create something. Distilling does not make methanol. All it can do is separate what's in something over here into 2 different or 3 different or 4 different, whatever different amount of parts. So if you distilled this much wash over here down into this much alcohol over here in terms of volume, you would have a much higher proof here, but you're not creating anything new. All you're doing is taking the alcohol out of this. All you're doing is taking the alcohol out of here and leaving the water behind. That's simplified, but you get the point, right? So if the wash is safe to drink, the distillate is safe to drink as well. I will concede that in theory, you could concentrate the methanol into a certain part of the run and drink that only. But honestly, guys, for home distillation, it's really not an issue. So, do we not bother to throw the 4 shots away at the beginning of a run? That's what everyone says, right? You know, throw the first 10 mils away, throw the first 100 mils away, throw the first 50 mils away, and you'll be safe. While I think that is misguided information and said for the wrong reasons, I do wholeheartedly endorse the idea of throwing your 4 shots away. What's it going to do? It's going to make your alcohol taste better, and it's going to stop you from having a dirty great hangover. Personally, I like my alcohol to taste good, and I don't really enjoy feeling like absolute arse the next day. You can do this by volume if you want, but I would much prefer to do it with my senses. We'll get into that in another video, guys, but all you need to know for now is that it's a non-issue. Methanol is not a problem. There are other nasty things, acetone and so on and so forth, that do come over in the heads on a run that you want to get rid of, but as long as you're running reasonable sized washes and not doing anything absolutely bonkers, methanol, seriously, guys, is the boogeyman of home distillation, team. Alright, guys, so there you have it, the rules of safety for home distilling. The commandments of home distilling, and if you follow these rules, honestly, team, you can enjoy a wonderfully rewarding and safe hobby. Anyway, team, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked it and you want to know how you can help the channel out, first of all, have a think about who else could benefit from watching this video and share it with them. Second, have a look down in the description for the Still It merch. And third, if you really are finding value from this channel, jump over onto Patreon and consider signing up over there. Which reminds me, team, I need to say a huge thank you to the current Still It Patreons. I still can't believe that people would sign up to help this channel out, and I really do appreciate it, guys. So, big thumbs up for you. Alright, team, that's it for me today. A quick video to try and help the new distillers out. We'll be back with more videos in this series soon. Just to remind you, team, I'm currently in America right now. Family vacation, work trip, the day job, and of course a little bit of stiller action as well. So when I get back, there'll be more interesting videos from that. But until then, keep on chasing the craft, guys. See ya.